300,000. That's the number of wild boars recorded in South Carolina in 2019. The state is facing a serious invasion of feral hogs, negatively impacting both the environment and agriculture. Their rapid reproduction and high adaptability have turned them into a major threat to the local ecosystem. It's time we take stronger action to protect this region. Myself and all the seasoned hunters gathered at the meeting point by 4 p.m. With rifles in hand and a well-discussed strategy, we stepped into the hunting zone full of confidence. While we were attentively watching every small movement, there they were. A dozen mature wild boars charged in like a storm. We targeted the biggest and strongest leading boar. The first shot rang out, but missed. It wasn't until the second shot that the bullet pierced its thick skin, wounding it, and eventually bringing it down after a few minutes of resistance. Continuing the search, we quickly spotted another wild boar barreling down the mountain at terrifying speed. I decided to take an immediate, quick shot. The bullet wounded it, causing it to lose balance and tumble down the slope. Suddenly, another shadow appeared out of nowhere. This time, its agility and cunning helped it narrowly dodge our 2 follow-up shots. A moment of regret, but the hunt was far from over. After careful preparation and scouting the surroundings, my hunting experience told me this was the path the boars would take. Rifle loaded, I anxiously awaited the moment the prey would appear. Sure enough, 2 wild boars came charging through, hiding cautiously in the brush. The moment the first one peeked out, I pulled the trigger. The second tried to flee, but my next shot dashed its slim hope of escape. Hunting is a never-ending confrontation. The next afternoon, we set out again, carrying the same determination as the first day. Not long after settling in, my clever hunting dogs picked up the scent of the first target. A large, fierce-looking wild boar was fleeing from the dogs' pursuit. I carefully aimed and fired quickly once the animal entered my scope. It collapsed, but to our surprise, it suddenly leapt up and dashed away. Even so, the critical wound prevented it from going far. Look, a strong herd of wild boars is running down there. We immediately sped up the chase. As the boars tried to cross the road, my buddy quickly raised his rifle and pulled the trigger. Incredible. The lead boar was taken down. Everything was going our way. Determined, we chased a boar all the way to the nearby field. At that point, there was no way we'd let it get away. 3 consecutive shots were fired, dropping the shadowy figure instantly. On the opposite side, a group of dogs cornered a wild boar, sending it into a panic. Seizing the moment, I used my trusty rifle and fired a burst of shots. Missed hits only made it run faster. Still, it couldn't escape the death that awaited. Occasionally, a few wild boars chased by dogs would appear in the field. Some even turned around and attacked us. In such moments, I had to stay calm and aim more precisely to collect as many trophies as possible. With the success we achieved on this hunting trip, we all felt thrilled and excited. Hopefully, after this hunt, the number of wild boars in this area will be significantly reduced.
Wheat fields, wiping out the farmers' entire harvests. Today, though it may seem ruthless, we have no other choice. We must take up arms and set out to hunt them down, determined to eliminate these wild boars to protect our homeland. To catch these destructive wild boars, I often patrol the fields in the late afternoon, just before sunset. On this first mission, I let my loyal hunting dogs take the lead. Sprinted toward the target, cornering the boar with no aim. Another dog swiftly escaped, trapping it completely. The entire pack lunged simultaneously, attacking with precision. A well-placed bite left the boar writhing and squealing in agony. My hunting dogs were truly fearless and intelligent, worthy warriors. Ahead of us, one powerful boar was using all its strength to dash across the field. But I wasn't about to let it escape. My gun fired continuously, and the echoing shots quickly brought down the monster's beast. I patiently followed the boar's tracks, waiting in ambush. The cooler air seemed to lure them out in greater numbers. I had aimed carefully. These creatures were incredibly fast and not easy to take down. wild boar in the fields. Everything happened quickly, and soon, the remaining boars vanished beyond sight. I returned home after an unforgettable day of hunting. That afternoon, we moved closer to the grassy hills. They feared it might attack the cows grazing nearby. We immediately moved into position, ready to take it down. With our experience, we swiftly locked. Wounded boar staggered as it tried to flee, but within seconds we caught up to it. A second shot rang out, ending its escape attempt. As we approached, the three of us were astonished. This beast carefully positioned on a nearby hill, I silently observed every movement around me. Suddenly, a wild boar dashed across my line of sight. It was incredibly fast, and I immediately jumped on my vehicle to chase it down. When the boar attempted to escape, I seized the opportunity. A single well-aimed shot hit its mark. With my trusty hunting rifle in hand, I continued scanning for new targets. In the distance, I spotted a herd of wild boars running through the forest. Reacting as quickly as possible, I managed to take down 2 of them. The rest of the herd disappeared into the wilderness. A massive wild boar with 2 long, curved tusks and sharp teeth boldly charged into the area. It showed no fear, standing its ground against me. Without hesitation, I pulled the trigger. The gunshot roared, dust filled the air, and the beast collapsed, eliminating the immediate threat.
Ooh.
Our wild boar hunt has been a great success, yielding remarkable trophies. However, our efforts are not just for sport. They're driven by the hope that one day there will be no more conflicts between wild boars and humans. Thank you all for following our journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. See you in the next video.
Good.
recent days, the situation of wild boars has been the destruction in this mountainous area has gotten out of control. The farmers here are fed up. They need an immediate solution, and that's why we're here. Today, our plan is twofold. Set a trap for wild boars first, then go hunting in the nearby mountains. We drag large iron cage traps to an area where wild boars often pass by. The dense footprints on the ground show that they have been here many times before. The trap is firmly reinforced, has a surveillance camera system, placed close to the edge of the forest, baited with corn and food with the scent of bran. After completing, the group quickly moves to the mountain, ready for the hunt. We split into two groups, lurking on the hilltops. The group moved carefully, listening, observing every movement around. Here it is, a wild boar appeared right in front. The first round of fire was deployed. We were quite surprised that it could escape without any damage. Raise the gun, ambush ahead. But this was just the beginning. We continued to move forward, searching for the boar's tracks. Something was ahead. Approach carefully, it was a wild boar. This is a very crowded herd of pigs. The pigs are big and fat, their speed of movement cannot be underestimated. Therefore, it is very difficult to shoot accurately and take them down. It seemed like an opportunity was coming, but the herd of pigs detected the danger. They immediately turned around and ran away. Without thinking much, we decisively pulled the trigger. We only managed to take down a medium-sized target. With a bit of regret, the group was determined to track down and take down the entire herd of pigs. Here it is. The eyes of the group still followed every movement of the wild pigs. As soon as they moved to the most ideal position, gunshots immediately rang out. The hunt continued. Each time we encountered them, we had to calculate the appropriate tactics to optimize efficiency while still ensuring safety. Through each battle, the number of wild boars killed increased. We knew that there were still many other herds of wild boars lurking somewhere on this mountain. We arrived at the neighboring mountain. This was where the wild boars often came in the afternoon to find food. And as expected, another herd of pigs appeared. This time, the battle was more fierce. We had to constantly move and change positions to avoid being counterattacked by the pigs. The huge, bulky boars were still galloping across the hillsides. Only when they reached an open area could we open fire. Despite having killed a large number, the battle was not over yet. The wild boar continues to thrive, and there will certainly be more hunting trips like this in the future. The last series of shots could only take down a few wild pigs. Quite a pity, so we need to try harder. Today, we did a good job, but tomorrow, there are still many challenges waiting ahead. Hello everyone, I'm Alex Carter, a documentary filmmaker passionate about capturing the wildest stories. I'm not a hunter, and my hands are not used to pulling the trigger. My weapon isn't a gun, it's my camera, the tool that allows me to capture every tense moment, every precise shot, and every heart-pounding chase. This isn't just another film, it's a real-life battle between man and beast. The first light of dawn peeks over the horizon as we take off from the base. The helicopter vibrates slightly as the rotors spin, lifting us higher. Sitting next to me is a team of seasoned hunters, their eyes sharp and focused. At the edge of a barren forest, another herd of wild boars appears. Moving in tight formation, they react swiftly to the roaring engine above. A high-stakes showdown unfolds. With precise shots, the hunters bring them down one by one. Watching this scene, I can't help but reflect. These hunters are not thrill seekers, they are on a mission to control the wild boar population. These massive creatures don't just destroy crops, they pose a serious threat to local communities. My camera keeps rolling, capturing another intense moment. Spotting a large herd below, the pilot swiftly lowers the helicopter, closing in on the targets. The camera shakes violently, but I can't afford to miss this. One by one, the wild boars fall under the hunter's powerful shots. Oh my god! What's happening before my eyes is unbelievable. It all unfolds in mere seconds, yet my heartbeat remains erratic after witnessing such an intense chase. the helicopter gradually lowers over a vast field. Two dark figures sprint ahead, desperately trying to escape the relentless pursuit. With speeds reaching up to 50 kilometers per hour and their ability to weave through complex terrain, wild boars are not easy prey. While helicopters provide superior visibility, they must constantly adjust to keep up with the boar's erratic zigzag movements. This time, the hunters triumph. Like black arrows darting across the grasslands, the boars attempt to flee, but the well-placed shots are merciless. Skill, experience, and precision ensure another successful mission. Wild boars reproduce at an alarming rate. Each female can give birth to 4 to 6 piglets per litter, rapidly expanding their population. This is why helicopter hunting is not just a thrill, it's a strategic approach to population control. From above, hunters gain a tactical advantage, spotting targets quickly and executing precise shots. Watching him handle his rifle, lining up each shot with calculated precision, I realize this is not just hunting for him. It's like a strategic game, where every decision determines the outcome. The helicopter tilts slightly, positioning itself for the perfect shot. I grip the frame tightly, adjusting my focus to capture every second of this crucial moment. A breathtaking display of marksmanship follows. One by one, and then in groups, the wild boars drop within mere moments. I feel incredibly fortunate to witness and document this once-in-a-lifetime event. On the way back, I review the footage. My camera has captured everything, from the first sighting, the heart-stopping aerial pursuit, to the final, decisive shots. During my journey to Istanbul, Turkey, I had the opportunity to participate in a special and challenging hunt. Wild boars, which seemed harmless, had become a nightmare for the local people. With the aim of helping control the population of this species, I set off with local hunters, embarking on a thrilling and tough adventure. Let's join me in discovering this dramatic journey. That afternoon, I went with a few friends to the edge of a forest, where the hunt was about to begin. Thanks to the relentless barking of the hounds, we were able to easily locate the position of the wild boars. Immediately, we chased after them, and we managed to block their path. My gun was aimed straight at the boar. Amazing! With one shot, I was able to shoot the wild boar. We walked over a kilometer, following the trails, heading toward the loud barking of the hounds. When we arrived, a small boar had been cornered by the hounds, frantically trying to find a way to escape. Without hesitation, I raised my gun, pulled the trigger. The bullet flew, and the boar immediately collapsed on the wet ground. In the open field, another boar suddenly risked running off, trying to find a chance for survival. I immediately raised my gun, aimed at the target. A deep breath, finger on the trigger. The prey was hit, staggered, and then collapsed on the ground. We remained silent, gently approaching the wild boar's area from above, using the terrain to observe the prey without being detected. It's hard to imagine, but without control, these invaders could destroy an entire forest spanning millions of hectares. Carefully hiding behind branches, my gun was ready and aimed at them. I took my time, slowly pulling the trigger. After the shot, the wild boars were immediately hit, lying still in the mountains. Continuing to choose favorable ambush spots, another wild boar fell within our sights. It was desperately running ahead, chased by the hounds. However, I didn't give it a chance to escape. A precise shot completely ended its life. Indeed, hunting wild boars is a rather unique task, because this species is very clever and can run incredibly fast. However, these things didn't faze me. With years of hunting experience, taking down this invader wasn't an overwhelming challenge. The new day arrived, and our hunting team moved to another, denser forest. GPS devices helped us quickly locate the wild boars. In no time, a boar charged straight toward where we stood, and simultaneously, gunshots from our team rang out. A very accurate shot made the wild boar lose balance, tumble down, and collapse immediately. On the sparsely treed mountains, we easily spotted dark figures running. There were herds of wild boars, with dozens of them together. According to statistics, at the peak of the wild boar population, Turkey had up to 78 wild boars per square mile. That is indeed a terrifying number, threatening the ecosystem here. In no time, we continuously found more wild boars, with gunshots echoing nonstop, determined not to let any escape. The GPS indicator showed us the direction of another wild boar herd. Without hesitation, my friend immediately took position and fired 2 shots in quick succession, causing 2 boars to fall immediately. I was truly caught up in this exciting hunt, continuously chasing after the remaining boars. In just a short period, the wild boars were taken down one after another. Our hunting trip concluded, but the excitement still lingered in me. What about you? How do you feel about this thrilling journey?
The night falls, covering everything in eerie silence. But we know the wild boars are still lurking somewhere in the darkness. With dozens of them in a single herd, they're a true nightmare. We tighten our grips on our weapons, take a deep breath, and step into what might be our most intense hunt yet. Will we be able to control the situation and eliminate these feral beasts? Watch this thrilling life or death battle now. Wild boars in Texas have become a serious threat, causing massive damage to agriculture and the environment. With millions of them roaming freely, they continuously destroy crops, uproot fields, and leave farmers in distress. As night falls, they become even more active. If strict control measures aren't enforced, the wild boar menace will continue to escalate, leading to unimaginable consequences. After receiving reports from locals about a massive herd of wild boars rampaging through the area, we immediately set out for Texas. Texas welcomes us with a breathtaking sunset stretching across vast fields. The scenery is oddly peaceful, yet hidden within this beauty lurks a lurking danger, cunning, giant beasts ready to ravage anything in their path. To prepare for tonight's hunt, we've equipped ourselves with advanced gear. In the pitch-black darkness, visibility is severely limited, but this is where our thermal imaging system shines. This technology allows us to detect even the slightest movement, piercing through the night with precision. As soon as the sun sets, the wild boars emerge. Dozens of them infiltrate the fields, frantically foraging for food, unaware of our presence. We take careful aim before deciding to pull the trigger. A precise bullet, and the first boar drops instantly. The herd panics, trampling over each other in an attempt to flee. But the chase isn't over. We continue tracking them, taking down more as we go. Tonight, Texas is no longer their territory. The battle has just begun. Moving toward a nearby orchard, I quickly scatter some grain over an open patch of land, the perfect trap for these gluttonous beasts. In no time, lured by the irresistible scent, massive wild boars begin to gather. They eagerly bury their snouts into the dirt, indulging in their last supper, completely oblivious to the fact that they've walked right into our sights. As they greedily pick their favorite morsels, I quietly pick my targets. A deep breath, a firm squeeze on the trigger, gunshots echo through the night. One by one, the boars fall. Flawless execution, excellent results. Tonight, we set out once more, driven by determination and burning rage. Gripping our weapons tightly, we remind ourselves, this threat must end. A chaotic scene unfolds before us. Wild boars rampaging through the fields, trampling crops as if it were their own personal feast. Each one, massive and rugged, their coarse fur resembling shadowy demons in the night. Even though these animals possess sharp instincts and heightened alertness, this time, their cunning won't save them. We lower our bodies, maintaining absolute silence. Everything is in place, and their nightmare is about to begin. Oh my God, what on earth is happening? Before my eyes, a horrifying sight. Dozens of wild boars storming into the area like a destructive hurricane. I've been on many hunts before, but never have I witnessed a herd this large and ferocious. No hesitation, we quickly take our positions. Gunfire erupts nonstop, despite taking down many. Their overwhelming numbers prevent us from eliminating them all at once. We press on, determined not to let a single one escape our sights. After an adrenaline-pumping showdown, we stand amidst the battlefield with an overwhelming sense of pride. This was more than just a hunt. It was a fight to protect the villagers from these demonic creatures. .13. With so many of them around, there's no doubt that more are hiding nearby. We cannot afford to leave any survivors. The objective, total elimination. 025. Right in front of us, a family of 9 wild boars marches through the field in search of food. With a single well-placed shot, the largest and fattest leader collapses. The rest of the herd scrambles for their lives, but there is no hope of survival. Within seconds, a few more shots ring out, leaving only lifeless shadows on the ground. A fitting end for the stubborn creatures that dared to invade human territory. Though we've achieved many victories during this hunt, the wild boar population remains vast. Our mission is far from over. We must continue our pursuit of these troublesome beasts to protect the people.
Wild boar. When their numbers got out of control, they were no longer normal animals. They became dangerous invaders. For months, wild boars had been destroying crops, and Jack, a villager, had been having sleepless nights because of a herd of crazy, ferocious pigs. Coincidentally, Alex, Adam, and John, my longtime friends, were planning a hunting trip. And tonight, we would put an end to this terror. As night fell, we settled into our ambush positions, just waiting for our targets to arrive. Here they were. A herd of pigs was feeding near the edge of a forest.
Back from the south.
We kept our breathing steady. Through the thermal scope, I could clearly identify the location of each target. The first shot fired. A male fell. The rest scattered. Adam and John quickly assisted, taking down 2 more. At the same time, Alex also managed to finish off another boar before they disappeared from sight. There were so many boars. They were everywhere. Without hesitation, we spread out, choosing the ideal shooting position. Boom! Jack fired first. The 2 largest fell immediately. My teammates and I took down a male leader, causing it to collapse immediately. The others ran away, but we had calculated this beforehand. John and Adam had intercepted them, taking out 3 more boars. At this point, we followed the edge of the forest, going deeper into the fields where the boars often hid. This area is adjacent to dense forest, which is an ideal place for wild boars to appear more. In the view through the thermal scope, I discovered a giant wild boar slowly moving ahead. Its image appeared clearly with its large size, characteristic black color. I quietly approached, trying to get as close as possible to ensure an accurate shot. To finish off the saboteur before it had a chance to escape. As the night went on, more and more wild boars appeared, and they also became larger. In a moment of excitement, Alex and I opened fire at the same time, taking down a wild boar on the spot. From our favorable shooting positions, we continuously took down more boars. Each shot was a saboteur falling down. The continuous gunshots echoed throughout the field, signaling a successful night of hunting and also a stern warning to the wild boars. battle became more intense than ever, we decided to move flexibly in order to find more targets. Do you see? The giant black shadows were standing there. I aimed at the biggest wild boar, held the gun tightly and pulled the trigger, then took down the other pigs one by one. With each shot, we had to concentrate to shoot accurately, ensuring to take down as many pigs as possible. Moving towards the food trough we had placed in the afternoon, there was a large herd of pigs, leisurely enjoying their meal without any vigilance. This was the perfect opportunity. The group immediately prepared, choosing the most favorable shooting angle. The gunshots rang out, causing the herd of pigs to panic and run away. The slow ones were immediately taken down. A few lucky targets escaped, but even when they hid behind the bushes, our thermal scopes easily detected and took them down with fatal shots. It was late at night, but we still persisted in our ambush, determined to take down a few more wild pigs. The giant black shadows were leisurely foraging in the field, accidentally entering our sights. The accurate shots helped us take down many large pigs, which was a great achievement. The gunshots gradually became less frequent, and perhaps the pigs were so frightened that they did not dare to turn back. The hunt ended with proud results, bringing us the joy of a successful hunting night.
Do you believe that without guns, we can still take down massive wild boars? With intelligence, strategy, and specialized tools, we have discovered an effective way to control this invasive species. From automatic traps and hunting dogs to innovative, traditional methods, we employ various techniques to ensure success. Join us on this thrilling and intense journey, where skill and experience determine the outcome. You'll be amazed by the unconventional yet highly effective hunting strategies we use. Wild boars are among the most voracious creatures in the wild. With an omnivorous diet and an insatiable hunger, they can consume up to 4 to 5 kilograms of food daily. Their menu includes roots, fruits, seeds, insects, frogs, small animals, and even carrion. More alarmingly, when food is scarce, they won't hesitate to attack livestock, poultry, and even human farmlands, devastating rice fields and fruit orchards. This is precisely why humans must find ways to control their population before the situation spirals out of control. Ever wondered how to take down these cunning invaders without using firearms? The answer lies in an ancient weapon, the bow and arrow, a tool that has been associated with great hunts since the dawn of time. No deafening gunshots, no lingering gunpowder, just the silent patience of hunters awaiting the perfect moment to strike. Today, we are using broadhead arrows with razor-sharp blades, designed for maximum penetration and a swift kill. 2010, not far away, a herd of wild boars emerges by a muddy pool. I carefully aim at one of them. Even after spotting it, I must not rush. Precision with a bow requires patience. My heartbeat echoes in my ears. The arrow flies through the air, striking true. The boar struggles to flee, but the fatal wound seals its fate. It collapses onto the ground, a perfect takedown, marking the beginning of an intense hunt. After a period of searching, we spot a herd of wild boars moving cautiously at the forest's edge. Without hesitation, my companion kneels, draws his bow, takes careful aim, and releases the arrow. It slices through the wind, but the cunning boar leaps into the underbrush, escaping by a hair's breadth. Determined not to let the prey slip away, we tighten our grips on our weapons and dive deeper into the chase. Arrows fly through the thick foliage, and this time, we do not allow the destructive beast to escape so easily. A few of them fall to our relentless pursuit. Our team presses deeper into new territory. Then, as if nature itself had gifted us an opportunity, a plump wild boar wanders into sight, obliviously foraging for food. A single sound is enough to startle it, freezing it in place for a split second before it bolts. But it's too late. My arrow flies like a lightning bolt, striking squarely. The creature writhes, letting out piercing cries that echo through the forest before collapsing into the lush grass. Venturing further, I stumble upon a group of nearly 10 boars gathered around a watering hole. A golden opportunity. Without hesitation, I draw my bow, aim precisely, and release. The arrow soars through the silent air, embedding itself into one of them. It tries to flee with the panicked herd, but its strength quickly wanes, and it crashes to the ground. By noon, the forest swelters under the scorching sun. We set up camp to rest, but keep our eyes fixed on the surroundings. Suddenly, a massive dark figure emerges from the distance, its heavy steps crushing dry leaves underfoot. A giant wild boar, lured by our bait, unknowingly walks into an invisible trap. A few more boars appear, but I remain focused on my main target. The bowstring is drawn tight, then released in a split second of fate. The arrow flies, piercing the massive beast body. The rest of the herd scatters in a frenzy, dust swirling in their wake. But the injured one cannot escape. Stumbling a few steps, it crashes to the ground, silent, motionless. As dusk settles, we spot another target. The first arrow misses, embedding itself into the earth, as if leaving behind an unfinished challenge. But this time, the unfortunate boar has no escape. The second arrow is loosed with unwavering determination, cutting through the air before striking true. The wind whistles past, then silence, before everything erupts in triumph. The unlucky boar breathes its last. As the hunt comes to a close, our sharp arrows, patience, and tactical prowess have led us to victory. The wilderness remains untouched, undisturbed by the echo of gunfire.